Hey everyone, it's Andrew and Dylan from Class 1A, and today we are going to dive into everything we're excited to see in Season 5 of My Hero Academia. We have 10 things that are all going to be non-spoiler and are only based off of the trailers, marketing pieces, and questions we have from Season 4. We will be doing a spoiler version next Monday, so we're putting this out today on Monday. So next week you can come back in and see everything based from a manga's perspective view of what we're excited to actually see happen in Season 5. But don't worry about spoilers today. We're just going off of what you guys know as well. But Dylan, before we do that, what are you excited about for this?
I just want to talk about season five. I've been hyped for it for about 3 months since we've known the date. I'm ready for season five.
Yes, we're 2 weeks away pretty much at this point, a little more than that. It is so close and I can almost taste it. But with that, Dylan, why don't you give the first of 10 things we are excited to see?
The first thing I am excited to see is Hawks. I want more Hawks. He's so cool. Like we got a tiny glimpse of him from the end of last season, and we got to see a little bit of his abilities and just like how strong he is. And there is a lot of talk on like Hawks like from previous seasons. I'm rewatching season 4 right now, and even at the beginning, Tokiyami it goes on his work study with Hawks. And so he's like still like kind of a mysterious figure. And like towards the end of the season 4, we get to see how cool he actually is. And I also love his voice actor. Both the English and Japanese voice are just so perfect for it. So I'm excited to see more of him.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, between the movie, outside of the movie, I think we've only seen him in 3 episodes, maybe only 2 episodes of the anime. But it feels like he's had such a bigger impact in those 2 episodes than like some characters have across 4 seasons. Like he came in and made a scene, and he has a huge fan base in the anime already off of just those 2 episodes. He's just a fan favorite already. So I 100% agree. I think we're going to get a lot more Hawks in season 5, especially with how last season ended, and I cannot wait to see that. And then the first thing I really want to do, the first one I want to point out, is going to be breaking the trend of My Hero Academia and having the first episode not be a recap. I think we're past that. If you're 5 seasons into any show, you don't really need a recap. It's been such a long jump since the last season. So let's just get that over with and get into the action and start watching C1A versus C1B right away.
Yeah, I like it conceptually. Like I like the idea of the anime doing something different and unique, but like we're at the beginning of the season. We just want to get into the content. Don't make us wait another week after we're super hyped about the season, right? Because there's nothing new here. So I don't know, it kills the hype a little bit.
Yeah, like you're telling me you can't do like an episode 0, put out like a 5 minute video on YouTube, like leading up this season and just having that be the recap. Like that's all we really need. But whatever. Dylan, what's the next one you got on your list for number 3?
It's my boy. It's my boy Bakugo. I love Bakugo. I think he's one of the best characters, and I'm excited to see more of him, and especially where him and Deku's like friendship goes from here. Because we had like a lot of like they're rivals, but then we find out that they're also kind of friends at this point, and they both like look up to All Might in different ways, and they're having these like really hard clashing moments, but really like heartfelt moments together, and they're definitely like getting a lot closer. So I just want to see where they go. I want to see where they go. I want to see them be rivals. I want to see them be friends. And I also want to see more Bakugo. I like when he yells.
Yeah, no, and I much as I want to see the relationship, I think this is going to be a growth season for Bakugou too, which I go with
100%.
that based off of the hero license exam when he was talking to the little kid who was all pissed off, a mini version like of Bakugou, and kind of having that realization moment that not only was he talking to the kid, but also kind of talking to himself in that moment. And I think over the last couple seasons, this is going to be one of Bakugou's biggest growth seasons. And I think it's just about time that relationship with Deku's growing. I think that's where a lot of their growth comes from. But I totally agree. I think we're going to see more Bakugo. Obviously, the first arc is all about the classes, and Bakugo usually stands out when you're in the school setting. So I think it'll be really
Hmm.
fun there. But speaking of the class setting, we're finally going to get to learn all of Class 1B's quirks. That's number 4 for me, easily. I think we've seen a couple of them. We know Monema's, we know Kendo's, we know a handful of them, but we have no idea what 90% of the quirks do in Class 1B. And we're going to get all of them seen in action because it looks like it's just mock battles between Class 1A and Class 1B is pretty much what all the trailers have been setting up. So I'm so excited to finally learn what they are because these are the 20 next strongest people pretty much in all of the country if you look at it that way because of how prestigious the school is.
Yeah, and they all look incredibly interesting too. So if you look at Class 1A, like as characters, I guess they're pretty interesting. Some people stand out a lot, Pinky or Tokiyami, but like all of Class B stands out. Like
Yeah.
visually, they're all incredibly exciting, and it makes you speculate on what their quirks are. Like the one dude that looks like Bigfoot, it's like, what could his be? Like, what could his possibly be? Does he like go into like a big frenzy rage? There's a girl that looks like a little short mushroom girl.
Yeah.
Like, what's the mushroom
And the
ability?
foreign exchange horn girl we've seen once or twice. Have no idea what she does. Like, there's a lot of really cool ones, and there's either one or two other people that made it into UA based on recommendations in Class 1B that we know nothing about. So obviously they're on the same level of Momo and Todoroki because those are the other two in Class 1A. So really curious to see what that is. But Dylan, what do you got for number 5?
I got costumes. I got costumes, and specifically, I want some more May, because the costumes we know that they're coming. I think there was a shot in the trailer of Bakugo in this like new
All
like all
black.
black,
Looks
and it looks
so cool.
super sick. So I'm hoping for some new costumes, and I'm hoping that because we're getting new costumes, we might get some more May stuff because I really like her. I think she's a really interesting character. She's very fun to have on screen, and she always brings like cool fun gadgets to throw into like their costumes. So I kind of hope that we're getting that so we can see a little bit of power upgrades. Maybe not for like the top 3 of the class, but for the other members of the class, because boosting their skills up at this point probably is
Yeah,
needed.
like
So
Ariyama or something like that probably feels like that could really be an upgrade. And I think in the movie we see like he has all the lasers. I don't think we've seen that in the anime before. So maybe some of the reveals we're going to get in the season might have already been spoiled from the movie based on like the timeline of it all. But I do think we're going to get to see some new costumes and see what the costumes from Class 1B can do as well because they are finally going to get a reveal here as well. But the next one I want to do is continuing with your trend of all people is Shinzo. Shinzo is making a return since the school festival arc, I'm pretty sure. I mean, we saw him once or twice, maybe in between, but we have seen him on air, in trailers, masking up with some kind of mask, and we've seen him fighting against people in Class 1B. So maybe he is subbing in. Maybe he's already talked about trying to get into the hero course. Maybe he's doing some audition. No idea what's going on here, but he is fighting against people in Class 1B in the second trailer. So I'm assuming I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm excited to see him.
yeah, he has to be playing a main part of some sort because we see him on like a lot of the key visuals.
Yes.
Like he's just there hanging out with, I think it's class A and B like together. So I wonder. I am very curious on what this is going to be. If it's going to be like a someone just brings him in. It's like, oh hey, like we're short a person. Let's make the teams even kind of deal. Or if it's like something tied to the plot.
Yeah. Either way, I'm super excited. I love Shinzo. Shinzo is one of my favorite characters. I know James loved him too. I'm our
He's
third co-host
cool.
in the podcast, so I'm really excited to see what he's got. But Dylan, what do you got for number 6?
I got the openings and endings. So we do know the opening and the ending for the first part at least, and they're both bangers. They're both incredibly good. But remember, there's always 2 openings and 2 endings for the season, so we have like even more hype for
At
the
least,
second half of the
who
season.
knows? I mean, that's what it's been in the past, but I agree. We're at least getting 2 of them. The first one, I haven't actually heard the new opening yet, but you do, I mean, the new closing yet, but you do hear the new opening in the third trailer. And my God, do I just want to listen to that on repeat. The second that hits Spotify or something, I'm just having that on repeat. It's going to be so hype. I'm going to rewatch it a couple times the first time we get the actual new opening.
Yeah, and the ending is by the Peggies, and they
Yes.
always do really good stuff for anime, so it's just reason to get hyped
Yeah,
for it.
I don't think they can go possibly wrong. But with number 8, Deku's percent. Every single season, he has been going higher and higher and knowing what percent he's at. I think right now is what, a 15, 18? I don't remember exact, but I should have looked that up going
Yeah,
into it.
whatever low arbitrary percent it is.
Yeah, I hope to see him get maybe 20%, 25% this season. That'd be cool because we're getting to the point where he's almost at the end of his first year, so he's gaining a lot of mastery of his quirk. So I expect we're going to see some kind of percent increase. I'm guessing it would be 20, 25%.
So I have something that I think is probably going to be a big part of that about the season because we've seen a lot of hype for it. And you can go into some of this that happens in the movie. But it's Deku unleashing. I don't know what that means exactly, but Deku unleashing. We saw it on the first promo art. It was Deku, and it said something that's blocked off, like it was a big like blacked out.
Yep.
This is unleashing, or something is coming. And then we got hype for it in the last trailer, and it just said like the same thing, like something is unleashing, and it's Deku kind of like floating in the air, kind of like a slow mo shot. And they kind of touched upon this in the movie. What was the context of the movie that they brought it out exactly?
So in the second movie, Nine tries to take the quirks from Deku, and Nine is only able to hold 9 quirks. And when he goes to take them, he says, "I can't handle all these quirks," when he only had 1 quirk slot. So assuming that something to do with One for All is either the equivalent of multi quirks or that it has multiple quirks within it, which makes sense based on what we know of One for All, is he's talked about it's handed down from generation to generation. So maybe some parts of quirks, when it's handed from one user to the next, could be kept in the quirk. I guess we haven't seen much of it, but based off the trailers and what Nine said, might be a new quirk for Deku or some big equivalent version of what it has. But All
Yeah,
Might
or like
only
a
ever had 1
variant.
quirk, so I have no
Yeah.
idea what it'll happen.
Yeah, or maybe it's like a variant of it of some sort of like I don't know, like maybe he gets like a different type of like power. Like I could see like what if like I don't know, like one of the old like quirk users was like a fire user, and that manifests into like whenever he's punching or kicking because Deku kicks now, I guess. It's like flame kicks instead or
Yeah.
something like that. Like it's something that's gonna change how Deku operates, and I'm really excited for that because they keep hinting and they keep teasing at it. So it has to be something big.
Yes. I think that'd be super exciting to see. And then I guess just the last one to kind of wrap up this top 10 list and everything we are expecting the first arc is just getting to see both classes in action. I feel like in season 4, we only got to see a couple of the main characters in the Shihasuke arc. And then really in the second half, it was only Deku was the only one that did really any action. So it's been a long time since we've seen a lot of Class 1A in action. And even Class B, we haven't seen in action at all. So just finally getting to see some more action on screen that's going to be full on combat almost. It's going to be super fun seeing creative use of quirks and really what we love of My Hero the most, which is that fun, lighthearted kind of arc that is just going to be everyone giving their hardest and coming up with really creative methods to win, which is always my favorite part.
Yeah.
But Dylan, I think that's 10. I think we're both really excited. I think we could go on and do 100 things we're excited for, but that's part of what next week is for. Like I said at the top, next week is all going to be spoiler free. So it's going to cover everything that we expect in season 5, everything that we're like specific moments we're really excited for. So do make sure that if you are up to date on the manga, go check that one out as well so you can listen to our thoughts on what's going to happen this season. But hope you guys enjoyed the non-spoiler version. Season 5 is going to be incredible, and we are so close. Thank you all so much for listening and watching, and we will see you guys next week.